Anyhow, shall we make a pumpkin? Shall we make a pumpkin? I did this one earlier today, and I rather like it. Now the other thing, I put a little bit of felt in the bottom there as well. And this one has come out, in my mind, nicer than this one. Now what I would say is, why, because when I showed this yesterday, I said, firstly, the next one I will stuff a bit more. And secondly, I truly believe I did not use the right angle on my ruler. Now, these are just made by a rectangle of fabric. However, so you might just think, well, I'll just cut my fat quarter, my ½ metre, a rectangle. But this one I cut on the bias, right? So this fabric was cut across the fabric. Let me see if I can grab hold, I'll put them back there, of a piece. This is what I cut away from. Ooh. I folded it. So I had probably a ½ metre, I chopped a bit off the bolt, but can you see, there is my selvage, and there, oh, can't see that very well, can you? This way. Right, so perhaps I'll show it better this way. There. Oops, no, there. Okay, so you can see my selvage, the white bit here, and then you can see that diagonal line. So what I did, I put my ruler, where is my ruler gone? On the 45-degree angle. So if you look on here, here is my 45-degree angle. It goes across there and there. So if you put that on the selvage and then cut along here, you get a diagonal line that gives you a bias edge. And I found, well, in my opinion, I feel that that one is much, much better than this one. I mean, I'm growing used to that one. So let me just show you the piece of fabric. So I'm going to do the small one, but you can see, can you see how that stretches? That will be the straight grain, which stretches a little bit. That is, now you see, so the straight grain is across there. And that is why for my rectangle, that stretches, it's on the bias. And this is what's going to make it better. So there's 3 sizes that I put on the PDF, and you just take more stuffing. The bigger you cut your fabric, the more stuffing it will take. I would say stuff it pretty well. The first one I didn't, the next one I did. So we'll stuff this a bit better and see how this works out. I also said you will need a long needle. Oh, that's lovely, Caroline. I'm glad they do. Let's put it like there. So you'll need a long needle, because we will be going to make those lines where the thread is there. We will need to be going up the middle, round the outside and back up the middle. So you want a long needle and strong thread, because the last thing you want to happen is that your thread breaks. You're on your last bit and it breaks. Irritating. So I must admit, I would use embroidery floss. I've used my Orifil floss because it's beautifully thick and stands out a little bit as well. But use something a little bit thicker than your standard cotton. Also, oh, I haven't brought it with me. I've got a glue gun, especially, where's my glue gun now? So I've got a hot glue gun. Oh, you're welcome, Gita. Let me just grab it, because what was the point of buying it, just to... Now, I have got, I don't know how many glue guns, but I didn't have time to go and find it. So, the glue gun, see, I hope I bought the right sticks to go with it. So, that good old River, I hadn't got time to go out anywhere, that good old River, oops, there it is, delivered it just before, just after, I'd actually made my pumpkin. And I thought, oh, it was like 10 minutes after, and I'd used some fabric glue. So fabric glue is fine, but it just didn't dry straight away. Oh, good job I looked at the reviews to see. Right, okay. There's the stand. Okay, if I get this on, it will be heating up, won't it? And then I'll show you what we do with this. So you don't have to have a hot glue gun, but I just thought it's quicker and easier. The glue dries. Look, I haven't got a very long cord. Never mind. Whoops. Let's just pull my socket out here a little bit. That's it. Plug it in. And we'll see if it actually works. I thought being Loctite, it might work, might be good. Oh, there we go. No light is on. Let's just have a look. Don't know where that's going to go, but oh, perhaps it goes here. Oh, yeah. Oh, no instructions, but that's, oh, perfect, perfect. Right, so what we do need is a little bit of felt. I don't suppose it matters what felt you have, but I found some felt in my, gosh, now I'm looking for scissors, there they are. Found some felt in one of the drawers that I had quite easily. So I think for the small one, I cut about an inch by 2 inches. So I've cut that first of all. So that is going to be, it's only small, and what we're going to do is roll it. So we're going to roll along the short edge, but I'll do it once so we're going to roll it up like that, and that's not perfect, but I'm going to glue it as I go, so that we get a nice little roll. And because it's the smallest one, I only did it an inch high. So depending on the size of your pumpkin, you could do that bit longer. So it was about 2 inches along here, 2 inches there, that's the rolly up. Oh, I missed somebody there. Welcome my cousin Trisha, who has joined our group. Is that Trisha Tory? Who's just, oh no, it's Trisha, Kirsty, oh welcome, welcome. Where are you, I can't remember. I've had 3 or 4 people, who was it? Lindsay will tell me in a minute. Yes, welcome. She did send me a message. Her name is, oh, there's Leslie Reader. There was Patricia Tory. Oh, it is Trisha Tory. Oh, welcome, Trisha. I tell you what, the other thing, there's so many Patricias these days. Oh, lovely. I'm glad you I sent you an email, didn't I? I'm glad you mentioned, happened to get here. Lovely to see you, so I hope you enjoy. I'm hoping, Viv, it's not going to drip. So, yes, enjoy. You'll find some lovely ladies here, and especially if, there you go, Pollyanne's already. Welcome, Patricia. We have got a lot of Patricias here. There. So, jolly, jolly good. Welcome to the group. So, that's just a little bit about here. Okay, Jackie. Yes, Viv, I'm hoping it's not going to drip. You know, I haven't had this make before. I've had others. I think I've had Bosch. I've had, what is it? Do Crafts ones as well. They drip. So, right, anyhow, let's crack on with making a pumpkin, because Martin's making chili tonight, and I don't want to upset him by being late. So here we are. What we're going to do first of all, we're going to place this right sides together. Now you can do this all by hand if you would like to, or you can use some machine and some hand. We will, there'll have to be a little bit of hand, but you can have more if you want to. So, ooh, I be round. Oh, what's being offered there? Oh, something nice. Right, so I'm going to go down onto the machine, and what we'll do first of all is stitch. So the first thing we are going to stitch here is the short seam. So I have folded it in half. Let's have a look. let's have a look. So there's the fabric folded in half, and I'm just going to stitch down here with a 1/4 inch seam. Doesn't really matter. If you do a very big seam, your pumpkin won't be as fat, that's all. So I am going to reverse at the top, and when I get to the bottom, I'm going to reverse down there as well. Now I am using a short stitch length because when we stuff this fully, obviously that seam's going to be stretched. So if we go like that, you see with a short stitch length, you can hardly see that seam. It's really good. Well, you can see it's a seam, but you don't see lots of stitches and like lots of eyes or teardrop shapes along there. So that's the first thing we do. Now, this is where I can't be bothered to get the iron out, and this is where I'll use my roller. We will open this seam here. So I'm just going to put my finger on there just to open that out, and then with a little roller, I can just very easily, Lindsay loves hers, very easily just roll that up here, backwards and forwards, and that really is as flat as if it were done with an iron. Oops, there we are. So we've opened that out. Now, you can either, and I'll do one end and the other. So if you want to do it by machine, we're going to gather both ends in the end, but we're going to do one at a time. So what we want to do first of all, let me get a little bit of fabric, because, I mean, not all of you will have this, but this machine cuts the thread. I'm just going to stitch along here. I don't want to cut the thread because automatically I want to have some ends. So I've just stitched on there so that you want to have an end of thread coming from your bobbin and your top. So let's just come in a little bit further. So I've got my ends of thread, and I've still got this a tube with right sides together. I'm just going to flip that open so that I can stitch along the top here. So about a 1/4 inch down, no further down than a 1/4 inch, because I'm just going to stitch on the inside edge here and just keep rolling that around. Oops, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted a big stitch. So I will cut that now. Oh, goodness sake. See, I'm really not with it. So I just got my smallest stitch on. So let's go back to, and having cut my thread, right, so needle up, pull the thread out, there we go. So I've got my ends of thread there now. Let's start again. So the biggest, to do a gathering stitch, have a big stitch. So I'm going up to a 5, and then, as I say, I'm just going to stitch on the inside here and keep moving it around. Just keep pulling that around so that, let's get those ends of thread there, so that I've got a running stitch, or a straight stitch rather, the whole way around the top. Okay, like so. And when I get to where I started, I'm also going to lift the needle again, pull the thread away so that I can cut those threads. Okay, now to get a really good gather, we just want to now stitch alongside that. So I'm just going to put those threads behind, because that's another set of threads we're going to have there, and I'm going to stitch fairly close to the previous row, and then we are going, you don't want them to go over each other, but close-ish together, because I don't want to take it too far down into the fabric. And when we get back to where we started, because you'll see those threads coming up, there we are, there's some threads. So just come fairly close, there we are. So needle up, or press a foot up, and pull that. So there I have, can you see, 2 rows of threads together. So now what I'm going to do, you can either go to the right side or just do it from the wrong side. I'm just going to take 2 threads from one side, so there will be a set at the on the right side and on the wrong side. So I'm just going to grab those and pull the 2, and it's gathering it up. And because they're a large, the length is long, you'll get that gathered up. So having done that side, I'm then going to take from the other side here. Stitches everywhere, I mean threads everywhere. Let's just see, and let's see if we can, but you do need to get the same ones, otherwise it won't pull up. So that's the top and that's the bottom, so that dark one there. So there's one, let's just get that, there it is, and I think that one's there. Where's that from the bottom? No, that's the other way. They got a bit confused, a bit like me. Okay, all right, I think I've got two from this side now. So we can just pull those up. Now the thing with this is that when you pull these up, it still leaves a little hole in the middle. Whereas, and I'll show you the hand option on the top edge, and you don't get a hole, which I much prefer. So can you see, whoops, can you see there? You've still got a hole whether I'm trying to draw it up or not. So let's just grab those. So what I do with these threads, just see if I can pull that a little bit more, that's it. With these threads, I pull them all together and pop them through the eye of a needle. So there we are. So I've got a big, oh, that's it. I've got a big needle here. And I'm going to put them all through, and then I'll stitch with it. So to be honest, I prefer to do just to draw a running stitch by hand. So having threaded that up, I'm going to go through the top of all those gathers. Oops, you can't see that, can you? Sorry. And then I'm just going to go over the, no, I'm going to go in the side, and that's it. My threads aren't, that's it. So I'm going to just go from one side to another to try and close that hole up. But we are going to cover it. Oh, it's not dripping yet. Oh, it's warm as well. The glue gun I'm talking about there. Okay, so I'm just going from side to side, like that. And hopefully closing that hole up. I can see there's a tiniest little one, but my thread has now become short. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the other little bits here, and I'm just going to put a knot. So I'm just going to knot these threads so that they won't come undone. There we are, just pop that through there. Just do that little knot, knot, and I do it 3 times for luck or to make it secure. Right, so I've done that now, and then I can just trim it a little bit. These are going to be on the inside, so that's all done there. And you can see that is not wonderful, but we are going to put a little bit of felt over the top there. So there is my little tub, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put felt in there. So felt, no, I'm not going to put felt, I'm going to put stuffing in there. So here is our stuffing, just ordinary bog standard toy stuffing, and you can see already that looks quite full, but that is by no means enough. You want to really stuff that in there right down to the bottom and get as much in there before we do that next gathering row around this top edge. So that looks quite full. So I'm going to put a bit more in there, like so, and even, actually I won't do it too full so I can get my gathering threads in, and then I'll probably do a little bit more, push a little bit more in before I actually pull it all up. So there we go. Right, so that, you can see already, can you see how plump and rounded that is? So I'll leave that for a minute, because now that my glue gun is ready, I am going to show you what to do with, let's see if it works. Let's see, ooh, just, oh, there it is. Oh, right, so a little bit of hot glue, just along, oh, a little bit come out there. Okay, let's just put that there. And then I'm just going to turn that over. Oh, it's not too hot either. So just turn that little bit over, which I put a little bit of hot glue along there. And then what we can do is put a little bit more in the middle. Oops. There. Just, and I am actually going to put it along the top actually, rather than, so that's it. Just so that it rolls nicely. Oh, that's a little bit hotter now. Okay. So having got my first little bit rolled, I can now, I'm going to put a little bit along here and a little bit, oh, it's not coming out very, that's it. There we go. So I've got some there, and I'm just going to continue just to roll that up. Being brown, it's not the best colour to be able to see, but I can just roll that up like that. When you get towards the end, it is quite easy. So I just get my glue gun back in, and then I'm just going to go along this edge, so this will seal. Oh, come on. There we go. There we go. So I've just got that along that edge. And I'll say you can use just your bog standard fabric glue, but it just dries that much quicker. Okay, so let's just move that along there. Okay, so there I've got that ready. I might just trim that little bit off there and there. So that's, it's like a little chocolate Swiss roll, isn't it? So there's your, that's going to be your little stubby bit. So as simple as that. So next thing we need to do, we've got enough stuffing in there with my needle, and I had got, oh yes, got a bit of thread here. So I'm using, what am I using here? I'm not using, I must be using 28, but I'm using a thick thread, and I'm going to gather with this. And because it's the top edge, I'm going to knot, because I'm only going to do one row of gathering. So I'm just knotting, putting a big knot in the back of it. And then I'm going to, I might pull a bit of this stuffing out because I'm perhaps gone a little bit overboard. You want to leave enough room to be able to stitch. So I'm going to go in from the back because I don't want our knot to show. Okay, like so. And then just your hand stitching. Still got too much really. So just, I don't know, 1/4 inch or so from the top. Your stitch is about 1/4 inch as well. So just your ordinary running stitch for gathering up fabric. And we're not worried about there being a raw edge because that's all going to be hidden as well. I'm just thinking I should have left it less full than this as well, because I don't really, I am stitching into a bit of wadding, stuffing, and therefore it could quite easily pull through to the front, but hey ho. So just, and because it's not very big, it really doesn't take very long just to get round to the other side. But as I say, what I did find was that you get a better gather. So when we get round to where we started, you'll be able to see exactly what I mean. But do a few stitches at a time, not just one in and one out. Just put your needle in and out, and don't worry if you're getting stuffing like I am in the needle at the back. Right, so practically there. Look, there's a bit, oh dear. Okay, so I'm just going to do one more and come round to there, and then let's just see. I think actually that might be enough in there. So you can see I've pulled that up, and that's pulled right to the top. That is really good. So having done that, I'm going to see if I can hold it closed as much as I can, and I'm just going to do a stitch through. If I'd done it long enough, I could have gone through to the other end, Okay, so I'm just stitching across the top there. I'll just undone my, just to hold that. And you could even push in. Can you see how nicely that is doing the gathers there as well? So let me just rethread. Being a larger eye, it's easy to thread, but the thread comes out as well. Okay, so I'm just going to go across this top again because I want to anchor it. I want to make sure that it doesn't come open. So just across that top again, into those gathers, and just pull that a little bit more. And then I've got that nice, then I'm going to put my thread, or my needle through that loop, and then I'm going to give it one more, just as a double knot. There we go. Okay, so then I'm going to trim that off. That will be covered, but there we go. Okay, so now we've got a squidgy ball. So what we want now, actually that is nice and thick. So I'm going to give myself a fair length of thread because we don't want it to be too short. So I have got myself a length here, and see if we can, oh no, see if we can thread it. Should be able to. There we go, in we go. Right. So I found it easier. You could either leave a long end so that if necessary you've got a bit more thread to make another crease. I called it sculpting, but I've made a big knot on the end, and I'm going to have that as my base because I want that to be covered with a bit of felt, which we'll do in a minute. So I'm going into one end and I'm going straight up so that hopefully I come, yeah, can you see that needle there? It's come out in the middle. Oh, put it back in again now. The middle of those gathers. So if you just press it down, I've got my thumb behind there so that you can grab hold of the needle. And then, oops, that's it, make sure you've got all your thread, that's it. You only want it single. So now I've got my thread up here. I'm going to take it around, I'm not pulling it yet, but I'm going back into the bottom where I came from and coming back up through the centre again. Okay, so having done that, I'm getting that thread going around the side. Right, so then I'm going to give it a pull, and can you see how already that's making a bit of an indentation? We can sort of move these gathery bits later. So I've got my thumb at the bottom and finger, and then I'm going to take the next one on the opposite side. So I'm going in at the bottom again, and make sure you don't prick yourself. You want to try and come up through that centre. There we are, we'll come up through there. This is why it's easier with the, so just pull that down a bit more, and then it's easier with a long needle. And if you're doing the bigger ones, you might even need a longer needle than this. This is about 2.5 inches long, 3 inches. But if you've got a very long needle, oh, no, I can't, that's it. So you can see, I pulled that there, and I pulled it there. So now at each side, I pulled that in even more, so we can just move that around. I'm going to do another 2 in the middle there. So I'm going to go over here, just there, and back in that hole in the bottom, up through, is it there? Can't see where it's coming, there it is. So up there, and give that a pull, so it's going in again, and then I'm going halfway between that one and that one, so in at the bottom and up at the top. There we are, straight through the middle. Give that a tug. You can see there, that's it. So try and pull it. So now I've got one over the horizontal here, so I'm going to do one there and one there. And once you've got the first couple, it actually, you can try and get it even, but it seems to go evenly stretched, squeezed, without too much issue. Got my thread, that's it, let's pull that thread out there. Just make sure your long end is there. So that's in the wrong place. So just move that over and pull. And then this last one is here. Nice roundy bit. So in at the bottom and up in the centre again. And then we can just move that bit of thread to where you want it to go. And I think that looks all right. And just pull that again. So you can see, that's could have, there we are. Not bad. He's looking like a pumpkin, which is really good. So, yes, we're doing well. Okay, so that's going to be my top. So I am actually going to go back down just to the side of the centre, and I'm going to finish off coming out the bottom there. So I've come out of the bottom, and what I'm going to do there is to just stitch into it because it's squidgy. Look, there's one that needs, so because it's squidgy, and we're going to put something over there. So just pull that, and I'm just going to do a knot in the bottom. And as I say, it's not particularly neat, but it is going to be covered. So nice little knot there. And if you want to, rather than cut a knot there, I'm going to go into here and come out at the side. Okay, a bit like when we do quilting. And so it's coming out of the wrong place, but I'm going to squidge that down so that, squidge that down so that I can trim the thread right near the fabric, and then it shoots back inside. So the thread is buried in there. Okay, we've nearly done now. Now, one of the other thing, really, really easy. So that is going to be, ooh, that's my top. Oh, that looks not so bad now. Let's just have a look. No, I think that's going to be my bottom. So on the bottom, I just cut myself a little square. Right, so I've got this felt. So I've got a little square. That's going to fit in there nicely. And in that square, all I'm doing, I took, don't know why I did this, but it worked out well. Take a little diamond, a triangle nick out of that side, and each of the four sides, only the tiniest little one, just gives it a little bit of shape. Now, what it is, I don't know. Why I thought of doing, all I knew was that I couldn't cut a specific shape, but can you see? I've just cut that by cutting a little triangle out of each side. And then what I'm going to do is I've just put a blob of hot glue. Whoops, there we go. Bit of a, that's it. And I'm just going to put that on top. I use the end of my scissors, just poke that in. And that gives quite a good effect. And then the other end, we're nearly done. It's so good. The other end, just put a bit of hot glue in here. Just give it a nice good blob. That's it. Righty-ho. Take the stringy bits, don't like stringy bits. Here is my, oops, there is my stalk. Just pop that in there. That is why I love hot glue, because it just does it straight away. And there it is. Wasn't that easy? So as I say, if you want to push, so where there's like ripples down where we've got the thread pulling it in, you can sort of push those down if you don't like them, just to get, but you can see how beautifully rounded that is. There's one there. It just, I suppose I could have pulled them in even further, but it does look like a pumpkin, doesn't it? Let's see. That base is felt same shape as an old-fashioned bread bag type. Oh, it is. I know what you mean. But yeah, doesn't it look quite good? Yeah. So there was my number one. These ones are the same size. And actually, it's not so bad now. Yeah, this fabric is one of the henna range. I was looking for what orange fabrics have I got to do that. What I might do for you actually is I could perhaps put some orange fabrics together. I haven't got loads. I've got a spotty one, and I have, I'll tell you what else I thought would be nice, and I've not got it. Oh, no, not that one. No, it's not right here. There's another one which I thought would be quite nice as well. Autumnal. So there they are. There they are. Really, really easy. And what you could do if you want, I thought this year, because I don't really do Halloween, but I do get sweets for the children. And last year they didn't. Oh, look at all those hearts again. Thank you. They didn't come to my door, so I had all these sweets left over. And what I found from the mums and dads, they said, well, you hadn't got a pumpkin out, so yeah, orange spray time would be good. I've run out of orange spray time. If you've got orange spray time, yes, perfect. So now I'm going to have these pumpkins in my window. As I say, this is the medium. If you want to make the large one, you will need a lot of stuffing, because that took a fair bit. And what was Mira trying to do? I couldn't see that. Oops, nearly dropping them there. You love making these. They make lovely autumn decorations. Yeah, you were. Oh yes, yeah. If it was my wedding anniversary, well, firstly Martin would forget anyway. But I suppose if it was around October, then. But there they are. There they are. Thank you. So a lot of you watching tonight, which is absolutely lovely, and thank you for joining the Absolute Beginners beforehand. I've had a lovely time, and actually I'm on a buzz now. I'm not going to do another live in a half an hour, but you've just found some pumpkin fabric. Fabulous. I've got some somewhere. Look at all those loves. I feel so loved. Thank you so much. I haven't seen the boys today, so I haven't had love there. Yeah, they'd be fabulous for decorations, wouldn't they, to decorate your craft stall. So there we go. So all I am leaving you to say is the glue gun works okay, but it doesn't wash very much out, I must admit. But yeah, quite. Ooh, they've gone now. Let's do them that way. There we go. So oh, I will enjoy my chilli. I can't wait. I can't wait. What's Fiona got? Bunting garland of ghosts hanging outside, and which is that? Oh, sounds great. Sounds great. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your weekend, or all of the weekend. You can watch me all evening. I might fall asleep as well. But no, when I've had my chilli, I should probably go, phew. Well, I hope it's all right. He doesn't cook that much off now, because he can't stand to do it. So, as in not stand, I mean standing up, etc. Next Tuesday in the Sew with Trisha group. Oh, no, before that, Saturday, tomorrow. And I haven't got the fabrics out yet. Tomorrow, if you're in the Sew with Trisha group at 6:30, it is the monthly giveaway. So I've got quite a few people to put in there that have joined this week, going into the draw. Next open house is the week after, Pat, the 7th of October. So I should be getting around to doing that. So yes, tomorrow evening 6:30. I hope I won't encroach on Strictly. I have to watch Strictly. I do deserve it, Fiona, don't I? Thank you. Yeah, should have done that, Jill. I've done that before, but he says, oh no. Yeah, it's the best way, because the minced beef is fantastic. Yeah, so tomorrow evening, 6:30, on the So Totally Trisha page, it's the monthly giveaway. I'll only be about 10 minutes because I've got to watch that dancing. And then the Tuesday, it's the new bag of the month. Got to get cracking on that. So have a lovely, lovely weekend, and thank you for joining me so much today and for the rest of the week. Take care of yourselves, enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you tomorrow evening. Bye for now.